edition of Game Day Monarchs Mocha. Dan Fawn with you here as we talk a little Kansas City Monarchs on a Tuesday off day. Kind of always gets me. I'm kind of like, wait, Sunday. We played on Sunday. We were off yesterday. So yeah, it is. It is. Happy Tuesday. We'll talk about it next in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. There you go. Welcome to the show. It's game day. You know what we get to do today? We get to play baseball. 27 outs today. We get to play baseball. Again, it's weird. These off days, I don't know about you, but we obviously Sunday, it's day games. It's Sunday, but then Monday sort of felt like a holiday, and it's like one of those holiday weeks because, well, it was a holiday. The Juneteenth celebration. So that did mix in. But I don't know about you, but when I get kind of back in the groove again, about 4 times today I've gone Tuesday, is it third? Wait, we're playing Thursday day. Now, what day is the day? I'm going to double check and make sure I had the day right. It's Tuesday, and the Monarchs are getting after it tonight against Sioux City. I've got the rotation for you. I'll go through that real quickly here. And we've got a lot of take your questions and comments. You have anything you want to chat about? I don't really have a question for the day today. Of course, this show is brought to you by the Roastery Coffee Company, 6 locations in Kansas City. I got to get down there to one of the locations to do the show. I was telling my wife this morning. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. At some point, I got to get a really early start. I got to beat the heat too. Boy, it was brutal out there. The humidity. Oh my goodness. But by game time tonight, it'll be beautiful. We're ready for baseball here in Kansas City. All right. Where do we start? Let's wrap the weekend up that was. I thought I had highlights. I got to sort of get this sorted because last year we were really good about this. And we're getting the highlights to the media, but we're not getting them to me, which is the person that needs to see them for this show. So we got to make sure we get that going. But I'll work on that with the staff today. It's just a minor hiccup. But I can tell you the Monarchs scored plenty and often. 10-run 5th inning on Sunday, going to a 16-5 win. Season high in hits, tied that mark. Season high in runs in an inning, notching 4 more home runs. Because so a lot of what this team's done you saw on display on Sunday. It was classic. Great starting pitching, very good work in the bullpen, the offense just so deep. And, you take a breath. Okay, I got Matt Adams out. Where's John Hernandez? Okay, I get him out. Here's Casey Gillespie, or David Thompson or whatever. There's just no breaks here. And a case in point was on Sunday when Alexis Almeida goes yard late. Everybody's doing it here. Everybody doing it for this Monarchs club. Which sets up another interesting test. When we talk about the test, a little mini test here. Last week's test, of course, the week before Chicago, flying colors. Sioux City, not so much. Road trip, passed. Then the weekend comes. Milwaukee was a contender. Milwaukee will be in the mix. They're kind of going through reverse of what they went through last year. Really from June 1 until August 10th, they were the best team in the league. And they were rolling. Had some injuries, got a little ran out of gas in the tank, didn't hit the playoffs rolling like they would like to have. But I think this year they're sort of reversed. They're kind of lurking in the wings. They remind me a lot of what Kansas City was like last year. So that same boat, the Monarchs were kind of hovering. The engine was kind of hovering there. Oh, Max would like he liked bark in the park on Sunday too. He had a great time. Bar in the Park on Sunday was great. Great. Anyway, Kansas City then finally takes off in June, July, and never look back. They sort of remind me of that to a degree. I don't know if they're top to bottom is as good, but it just reminds me sort of that same kind of team. I think someone in the East is going to come out of there and going to be playing pretty good baseball. And whether it be King County, Chicago, even Gary, obviously Milwaukee, Lake Country. I think anybody at Cleveland's probably the one team you look at and go, well, I just don't know about that one. But everybody else you think has got a good puncher's chance to come out of that. In the West, this is where we go to tonight, creates a very interesting situation. Now, last week in the American Association, as I mentioned, the Monarchs win 3, go to Sioux City, lose 3. Now, Sioux City had busted their tail to get to within one game of 500. So what's their encore act? They go and drop 3 in a row, probably a letdown game on Friday against Cleveland, then drop the other 2 against the Cleveland Railroaders, who have the league's lightest record. And now you're back to 4 games below in 7.5 and 6 back of the front-running clubs of your division. So thank you very much. That's because you have to get up and walk in the morning in the sun. It's still 800 degrees here. Thank you very much, though. I'm a little more bronzing than usual. This looks more like I look like in January in Australia, but thank you very much. Very good, very good. Good to see you too, by the way. So we wind up, trying, mate, trying. Again, it was really warm out there today. The wife and I did our walk, 70 minutes basically, and humidity. It's the old adage. If you're from the South, you know this adage. It ain't the heat; it's the humidity, right? I mean, it's only like 88, about 900% humidity. I mean, it ain't the heat; it's the humidity. That's kind of what it is. What it was for us today. I mean, it was rough. All right, so the little mini test now is Sioux City. Now, Sioux City's in a situation where they've basically spun their wheels. All the work they did last week in sweeping you, they're now back in the same spot again. They're back where they were. The series began last week. They got to sweep you to get a game below. Now, it's not impossible, obviously, but after what we were going through last week, the ebbs and flows, this is what I talked about a little bit last week in Sioux City. The eye test tells me the Monarchs are the better team. Sioux City's a really good ball club, and they've been built to beat Kansas City and Fargo. But the eye test tells the Monarchs the better club. And the aggregate score, if you look at it, I believe Connor Ryan, our mate from Sioux City, sent this to me in the morning. Hey, good morning, mate. Or good afternoon, right? Snowman, how you doing, bud? Always pulling for you, my friend. Connor Ryan telling me this. The Monarchs in the season series against Sioux City are 1-5, but the aggregate score is 24-23. Sioux City by 1. And remember, the only blowout in that series in the series so far has been the Kansas City win. Everything else has been a 2-run and a 1-run. They're all close. Been really, really close. So it sets up an interesting situation here for Sioux City. If you're Kansas City, for us, a chance for to get the series back your direction. I mean, granted, if you won all 4 or all 3, you'd be a game below with a 3-game series left. If you could win 2 of 3, put you at 6-3, which means you got to sweep them to tie the season series. But again, it's like I talked about yesterday. I was telling this to Rob Pannier and Kevin Luco in This Week in the Association. The Monarchs last year had trouble with Lincoln. Lincoln had the season series, but Lincoln finished 10, 11 games behind you. So the tiebreaker doesn't come into effect. As long as the tiebreaker doesn't come into effect, I think you'll be okay. And right now, 2 wins here, you send them 8 back. 3 wins, you send them 9 back. I don't think you got to worry much about a tiebreaker. I mean, I think that's sort of where you're coming from. So it sets an interesting situation up. And I think tonight, more so than anything for this 3-game series, you want to win the series. You want to win the series, and that's what the goal is. And granted, the big picture thing obviously is, where you finish into the year. But so again, I think the situation is it's a little test. And can the Monarchs do what the Monarchs have done against everybody else but Sioux City? And can they do it against Sioux City? And that's the only question mark we've had this. If there's a question mark on this team, that's stretching it, because you're asking about a question mark about a team that's way down the list of the standings. I mean, just pulling those standings up today, Sioux City's 9 behind Fargo, and they're 7.5 behind you, because Fargo did win last night. So you're a game and a half behind Fargo. They had that game with the off day. We had the off day. They played yesterday. They did beat Lake Country. And, you've got a really good spot in your schedule here, too, to get healthy, but you have to play the games. And you got to play the games. And, again, Sioux City's a tough matchup, deep pitching staff. They don't try to bang you to death with, 10 runs. They try to get 4 or 5, 3, 4 runs, 5 runs tops, crucial extra insurance run with a hit and run or whatever, and they clamp it down with their bullpen. It'll be interesting to see how it works out here. Now, granted, those 2 games here rather earlier in May, I think you toss those out. I think you look at the ones from last week and the ones that were there. What? Oh, I got you. W40's like chiming in. I should take the dog for a quick little walk there. Anyway. So questions, comments on this series. Also, this was interesting too. I pulled this off my phone. These are interesting numbers. And let's just say Guerrero, Hernandez, Thompson, and Adams. Let's use those names right here. Gabby's batting .341 for the year, but against Sioux City, .250. John Hernandez, .360. 156 against Sioux City. Thompson, 336 and 227. You get the point here, right? That 4-man combination platter, okay, batting .319 against the league, batting only .212 against Sioux City. 44 home runs. Now, granted, that's a bit of a strange. Obviously, 44 home runs, only 6 against the Explorers. But I just think that this is an interesting situation. Hey, Jason, good to see you out there too, mate. Yes. Yes. The far worse ways of that. Yes, I agree. I agree with you on that. Totally. But interesting series. I mean, I don't think that, and they were asking me last night, Rob Paneer and Kevin Luco on This Week in the Association, which I'm on, that podcast dropped today, if I felt like the loss of Matt Hall was any kind of indication where this team had a struggle last week. I said, no, I think anytime you lose Matt Hall as a pitcher, that's a big deal. Where the team probably hurt was the fact they didn't have him as a pitching coach on the road. That was good to have him there as a sounding board. But again, it's a limited sample size. I just think that there's certain teams have your number, and you didn't have the right things happen at the right time. I mean, you had your one bullpen meltdown that you had all year. You had an extra inning loss. Put it this way, you're playing this club in extra innings, the runner at second base. Do you like your chances to escape unscathed? Of course you don't. And they did. And the Monarchs left a lot of runners on, and it's one of those frustrating series, and it happens like that. And I think the key is how this club adjusts, which I expect them to adjust, and I expect this club to look totally different than it did last week. And I expect a message to be sent to Sioux City, and the fact that this club, yes, they have our number, but we can go toe-to-toe with them, and this Kansas City club go toe-to-toe with anybody. And that's the thing. It doesn't really make any difference if it's Fargo or Sioux City. This club's not worried. They got to go out and do their business, and that's what good clubs do. You do what you got to do, and you'll be fine. I know it's all coach speak or maybe manager speak to what I'm saying here, but it's simple. Sometimes they make it so difficult. And the numbers all tell you – the numbers tell you that this is a weird situation for the Monarchs. But I think it's one that'll definitely – it's only we're a 6-game sample size. We'll have 9 now, a lot more of a better sample size into this one. And I expect things to sort of come back to the middle. If you remember last year, same thing happened with Lincoln. Now, granted, the Monarchs wound up being a game behind Lincoln head-to-head, but finished 10 games ahead of them. But the same things happened. You started to see them come back to normal and the better team playing better in the third and fourth time around. So anyway, all right, pitching matchup tonight. I do have that here. I don't have the game notes, but I have the matchup for you right here. Pull this up for you. And, of course, John Harris scoring tonight for Kansas City. I've got Sioux City's rotation there right here. It'll be Tyler Beardsley. Tyler Beardsley going tonight. Tomorrow is a rematch of what we saw last week with Patrick Leday going for Sioux City. And the Monarchs will throw Matt Hartman. That was a great matchup. Both guys tossed phenomenal work, 7 innings each. Then Nick Belzer goes on Thursday morning, and he'll be facing a guy we haven't seen, a lefty, Wendell. So a pair of lefties in Leday and Wendell, and Beardsley the righty tonight. On the air at 6:30, we'll be on the air with Jackson Webb will be joining me. We'll be ready to go tonight. Have you ready for the pregame show? What? Oh, Max, come here, buddy. Well, you got to come here. I don't have the camera. You have to come over here. You have to come over here. Oh, you want to sit in my lap? Well, come here. Hello, buddy. Hello, folks. Hello, folks. This is my assistant broadcaster. There he is. Look at the camera, buddy. All right.
He's going to keep
Chris, there he is, bud. He was trying to jump in my lap, and I was trying to grab the camera, but I realized I don't have my camera. I left it at the office. I'm still here at the Delaware Ridge. And Kenny says, Pirates sweep a 3-game set at the Dodger Stadium. Yes, that's the amazing thing. And I was talking to Connor Ryan about this morning, the Sioux City Explorers play-by-play and GM, by the way. He said, the letdown game for them on Friday was inevitable. We see those, right? We've all been there where you have the big win and you come back out and you play slow, especially true in football, to a degree in basketball, but not as prevalent in baseball, but for a series. But I think I think you would have seen them losing that game on Friday, but not the series. In fact, they lost all 3. And that's what makes this thing so crazy. I mean, so I think you're as angsty as we might have been on Thursday night. That angst is gone when you've won 2 of 3 from Milwaukee and you've actually increased your lead over Sioux City, who is built to beat you. And, right now they got a bigger fish to fry. They got to get back in the race. And it ain't going to be easy with Winnipeg, what Winnipeg's doing. Yeah, Connor does deserve major props. He sure does. The WD-40 is saying that. He does. He's a rock star, that kid. All right, 6:30 tonight, the pregame, 7 o'clock tonight. Oh, and by the way, tonight, I guess I can put this up on the screen for you. There we go. I'm pulling this down so you guys can see what I'm talking about. What am I talking about? I am talking about tonight, it's game day against the Explorers, and even more importantly, what's going on at the yard, because we got plenty going on at the yard. Oops, sorry about that. At some point, I'll get this organized better. Here we go. What's going on tonight? We've got $2 hot dogs, $2 sodas tonight, of course, on AA Baseball TV and on MixLR. First pitch at 7, but $2 dogs, $2 mutts, and $2 sodas. How about that tonight? Whoop, whoop. $2 dogs. Can't beat that. So, yes, W40, you can afford to eat in your teacher's salary. You can afford to eat. Even I can afford to eat in my broadcaster's salary. I can afford to eat. All righty. Cool. Short but sweet. We will have highlights tomorrow, hopefully with good news. We only do highlights if it's good news, right? You guys remember that? How that works? We only do highlights if it's good news highlights, not bad news highlights, right? So we'll only do that. So, all right. That is our show. It's real quick. Brought to you by the Roastery Coffee Company in Kansas City. I will see you in the broadcast tonight. Oh, I was going to tell you, I unearthed a funny story tonight. It'll be in it'll be the Monarchs Coors Light flashback moment. Brought to you by Coors Light. The story I'm going to tell you tonight that I've already unearthed. What if I told you that there were fisticuffs and it didn't involve the players? How about that? A very interesting sidebar that I sometimes these old school stories you read, there's more in them that meets the eye. And I found out 2 little tidbits in this Monarchs Day and Monarchs flashback moment, let's call it, coming up tonight on the broadcast here. Now, not parents of players. No, not parents of opposing players. Although that's pretty funny. No, it's not. Just think man Man calling ball strikes and Hall of Famer upset. And just think about that. All right. All right. That's the show. We will see you guys in the broadcast tonight. 1, 2, 3, go Monarchs. See you then.